to the September 8th, 2020 meeting of the Board of Selectmen. This meeting is a public proceeding and is being recorded. The agenda is subject to change without notice. Would you please join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Oh, I'll start right on with you, sir. You're sitting here. You were early. Attorney Brown on.
So, David emailed me on Thursday night with the issues that Pauline had raised with the charter amendment, and I spent a lot of time on Friday going through it all, reviewing the statute, conferred with MMA, talked through the lawyer who responded to Pauline, also talked with one of the supervisors to make sure that we can do this correctly. And they're in agreement with me that we have to redo the way we vote for this thing, but you can still move forward with it. Okay. So basically, there's a charter amendment, so it's got a very complicated process. But I sent it in an email to everyone, like the steps that need to be taken. But basically, what we need to do first is take a vote that amendments are necessary, and then order a hearing. Okay, so you should probably, I recommend that you do that tonight.
Mm-hmm. And that's a vote with us.
That's a vote with the board, basically saying that we believe that we need to order a hearing on charter amendments. Okay?
Okay.
We have to publish notice in the newspaper at least 7 days before that hearing. So we need to get a notice together. I'll work with Nancy on the wording of that notice. It has to contain the text of the amendment and the summary. All right? So I'll work with her on that to get that in the newspaper. Hold the hearing, okay? And then within 7 days of that hearing, you have to take another vote. You could do it the same day as the hearing, as long as it's right after the hearing. And that's to order it to actually go before the voters. Now, you've already sent the ballots out, so this has to be a superseding order. This has to be the one that is the official order to actually have the symbol before the voters. So what you did before technically doesn't have the legal steps that need to be taken. So this thing that you're going to take after the public hearing will be the official one. Okay? The election then has to be at least 30 days. We're not going to have a problem with this. This whole process can be done in September. So you can be okay with that. Okay. So I ran that by them. They thought, and I thought, and they agreed with me, that that would hold up to any sort of legal challenge to make sure it was done correctly. The only issue would be, I guess, at the public hearing, if you as a board felt that the public hearing changed your mind and you didn't want to vote to put it on the ballot, then we have an issue. You have to reprint some of these things or something, but I mean, cross that bridge when it comes to it. I mean, I'm assuming that at least there's kind of consensus that this is something that you want to see.
Oh, absolutely.
Go forward. But the public hearing at least give the public opportunity to weigh in on it. So that would be my recommendation. And I'll help you draft the wording of the order at the public hearing that you would vote on. But for today, I would recommend that you vote to that amendments are, someone makes a motion that amendments to the charter are necessary, and that the board wants to vote to order a hearing in accordance with state law for amending the charter.
You got that down? So you're going to do that motion, though?
If not, you can probably.
Okay. I mean, just that, I would have someone make a motion to say that amendments to the charter, the board finds that amendments to the charter are necessary, and will therefore order a hearing on charter amendments in accordance with state law.
Of course. Okay, and that'd be the first public hearing. And you do that one immediately. as soon as we can.
We're gonna set it up, as long as we can publish notice in the newspaper. How long do you think it would take to get, if I got you the form of notice, how long do you think we would need to get it, since we're doing it fresh early?
Yeah, they don't publish on Monday, so we can't put anything on Monday, and weekends are phenomenal late,
Yeah.
so.
I bet you we could probably get it Tuesday, which
Yeah.
is, you could have hearing Tuesdays, a week from today, so 15th, you could have hearing as soon as the 22nd. Let's try to figure out a couple days to give us a little bit of a buffer, just in case there's any sort of delay, we don't wanna run up against a problem. But I think you'll have this whole thing, redone and then corrected and put in.
Yeah, and, you'll give Nancy copies that way, you've already got Nancy's already got that. Yeah, I look for a motion.
Make a motion to make amendments to the charter, we have a hearing on those.
And those motions are necessary. Is that
Already
correct?
listed.
Okay. Okay, Tom, first, all in favor? So, thank you. Holly?
Should I hold off on signing off on the proof of the ballot, just in case something does change?
That's a question between, I guess, us and the printer and when you need to send those out.
Well, I've already sent the ballot in
Yep.
because Friday was the deadline, and they're gonna be sending me the proof within the next few days to sign off on, so that there'll be printing time, so that I have them by the beginning of October, because absentee ballots have to be made available to the public 30 days before. But I don't wanna print these ballots and then have it change.
Well, the only way it could change would be, after you have that public hearing, if the board decided that, as a board, decided that they no longer, because it's the selectmen who make the decision whether to put it on there. You have to make a decision that you didn't want to put it on there, or you wanted to change something, in which case you have to revise it. And there'd be quite a bit of expense involved in that, I would think. If you did decide to.
You guys have changed your mind?
So we think I'm good.
You're not gonna change your mind?
Well, you're not gonna, yeah, I'm just saying that, so you have to sign off on the proof of it this week? Yeah, well, we really don't have a choice.
Yeah,
Well, I would ask when you have to sign
this week.
off on. What's
This
the
week,
last?
so that there's printing time
Yeah,
and
well,
shipping time to get them here.
I would ask them, what's the cutoff? To sign off
why don't we just do it right now, Bill? Just get it signed, get all that in motion. And that's the reason we sent the ballots in, because.
You have October 5th,
Right.
you have to do your absentee ballots.
Right.
Reality is, if you guys decided to change it at the last minute and it's near the end of September, I don't know how that would be done.
Right, yeah. And we're not gonna change anything. We're all pretty much in agreement.
No, all I'm saying is if you ask the printer, what's the last date we can tell you yes or no? And they say October 17th, say thank you, I'll get back to you before that date. And then we at least have time to figure something out.
I have that information.
The other thing was, I think I mentioned that in that email, was a 60-day deadline, which is what we normally follow for referendum questions. It's actually been shortened. Yeah, because of the COVID.
Right.
Yeah, so that was the one hang up that the MMA lawyer was kind of like, well, she was kind of like, technically it's supposed to be done, the votes and all that stuff that has to be done. Their recommendation is 60 days, only because state law says any referendum question is 60 days. We don't necessarily agree with that. I didn't necessarily agree with that, and she was kind of on the fence about it because the state law says 30 days for a charter, and usually the more specific thing controls over the more general thing. But just to avoid any questions, it's really not an issue because of the governor's order on short.
Find the date.
Yes, no later than September 18th.
Yeah, we'll ship it.
Next.
Yeah, I'd rather just ship it and be done with it. I mean, you
Well,
guys,
we've got time to decide.
Well, there's no
already
way we can
decided.
get a, what's today? There's no way we can get it in the newspaper
right,
before, not unless we go to the newspaper, like,
So you're right,
yeah,
that's the only, yeah, I mean, if we could get it in the newspaper sooner, it would be better, but I'll work with Nancy and see how fast we can.
okay. Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice if you could have a hearing before the 18th, but I just don't know how fast you're gonna be able to.
I apologize for bringing up all these issues, but it's my job to do elections, and I have to make sure we do it legally, so the
Right.
whole election doesn't get thrown out.
Well, I think you did the right thing.
Yeah, no apology necessary, no,
Yeah.
you were doing your job.
Yeah, I think that was a good thing. And, you know, I talked with David, David said something about like, well, how come you didn't tell us about this? I mean, I did have a procedure that, I mean, it was a while ago, you know, I mean, these things, I wasn't monitoring, you know, day to day what's going on with this,
I'm,
you know.
I'm more worried about fixing it than how we got here, and we know now, and hopefully we don't slap ourselves in the head with this twice.
And honestly, I don't know why they make it this difficult. I mean, seriously, our own charter has a section on amendments. And you would think we'd be able to follow that, but all it says is hold a public hearing 30 days before.
Right,
It doesn't even say all
Right.
this stuff, but then you
Right.
have to go look through all the,
right,
you know,
that's what we were doing, and we figured we were fine.
yeah, well, so, I think at least we got it straightened out.
Perfect, perfect.
Awesome.
Any questions?
No, we're good. Yeah,
Technically, I was looking at that motion. Technically, it said that amendments to the municipal charter should be considered. You guys voted that they're necessary, I think that's close. If you want to reflect in the meeting that
Should be considered
should be
necessary.
considered, yeah, and then by order provide for notice in the hearing. So that's the exact language of the statute, so we could maybe have the minutes reflect that. Or, you know, okay.
all right, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, Holly, you're up next, what's on your mind?
I've got several things. The main thing I wanted to talk to you about was renting additional DS200s for election day, so that we don't have a whole bunch of people lined up 6 feet apart, trying to run their ballots through. But myself, along with about 30 other clerks, have been after the state to give us prices on the rental fee, and nobody has heard from them. All they said was more information is coming. But there are a lot of towns
Which means they're
who,
scrambling because they're not ready.
Yeah, they don't have any.
but last I knew, this could change, but last I knew, it was $579 per machine to rent. And I would need two, because we can't run the state and the town ballots through the same machine because of ranked choice voting. Ranked choice is on one side of the state ballot, and then the regular voting is on the top, and the little ovals you color in won't line up right if we run a town ballot through there too. So I would need to rent two, so we'd have 2 towns, 2 states to keep the people from backing up. And then there's a cost of $379 per stick, the memory sticks that you put in the machines. So you're looking at, if these figures are still right, you're looking at a couple $1,000s. Or I can have my warden, Michelle will be there too, to just keep an eye on traffic control and just don't let all the booths fill up. When we see 5 or 6 people in line, just don't let anybody else come in the voting room.
How many machines does the state have to rent out?
I don't,
2?
I don't.
One.
I know.
I'll bet they don't have.
I know all the machines are called for, and people are renting from ES&S, who programs the chips and prints our ballots. But they want $1,000 per machine.
Cause they know.
Yeah, right,
The
exactly.
state reserves so many, and I got my name in there for 2 possible machines, but I can't tell you exactly what it's gonna cost, because They haven't gotten back to any of us clerks who want them.
Where would you pay for that out of? Where would that come out
That would be a Jeanette question.
of? Because you don't.
No, this is all unforeseen expenses.
Sure, right.
I mean, you could take it out of the contingency as a last resort.
Yeah, we're already starting to beat that up. We're only a few weeks into the new year, a couple months.
I'm sure we'll figure it out.
When I hear back from the state, I can shoot out an email and let you know what it's gonna be. But I can't give you something I don't yet.
Then how fast to get them?
I think I'd be asking the state, are we really gonna get them if they're available, supposedly available?
Yeah, well, I've, in my email, I asked, is there a shipping cost to ship them? Is there a pickup fee to come pick them up? I wanna know, exactly what it's.
I would ask if there's a guarantee we're gonna get them.
Well, Heidi Peckham told me that she had me on the
Because we could plan everything and
list.
get nothing.
She told me she put me in for 2 machines.
I know that, that's not a guarantee, saying, yes, we're gonna get them.
It almost is,
Everything
guarantee
else
is the
a
traffic
pipe dream,
control,
we
like you
don't get
said,
it.
really, absolute.
It's
You know, what
gonna
it is,
be-
almost
Yeah.
need to.
I got
Plan-
here at
plan for the
3:15 this
worst.
morning, and I have been doing absentee ballot requests nonstop all day, and I'm still not done. I'll be here till about 10 o'clock tonight to finish up what I got now, because more are gonna come in tomorrow. It's never ending.
That's for November, right?
And
I would still plan on the worst case. That way, at least you're prepared, one way or the other.
Well,
stand there with a bat.
Can
Michelle.
I-
Can I have walkie-talkies?
Don't be scared.
Radio side, don't let them in.
That's right.
how much do we want to spend? I mean, all right, we're looking at $2,000. Now we're saying, what if how bad do you want them? If they're available at this other place and it's half again a double, do we want to do that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not sure. I'll call Jeanette tomorrow and see where that money would come from.
I'm on the list for the state machines, and the state cut people off because they already have them reserved, like I put in for 2. So I have reserved 2. They've run out of reserved machines, that's why other clerks are renting from ES&S at $1,000 a piece.
So they're gonna be in the same boat.
Sounds like you got your foot in the door, got to.
Yeah.
The sewer goes.
So as soon as I get the prices, I'll let you know, and then,
So Steve has gals up there, I don't know.
how are we coming on the Dropbox?
That's on here.
Patience.
Patient, yes. I've got it on here, we've got well, I guess we could go there next, how's that? My fingers are not working tonight, like every other night. Okay. Build a 2-foot wide by 2-foot deep and 3-foot tall box out of a finished grade 3/4 inch plywood. Wooden ballot box will have a 1-inch tall by 16-inch wide slot for ballots and a small overhang over the slot for rain diversion, and a 20 by 20-inch door with 2 hinges and 2 latches for locks. Now, is this an outdoor box?
No, it's gonna be inside, right where the one is now, just be bigger.
All right,
Replaces.
all right,
That's
that's okay.
what I thought you were doing, yeah.
1750, that sounds,
They were talking.
1,700? It was cheaper to buy one of the blue
Some paid
ones.
what, 3,800?
No, one of them, after the $1,500 that the state would reimburse, it was like $700. It was cheaper to buy one of them. But then that's just for the box, but then we would have to hire someone to
Install
screw it into the cement or attach it to the building or whatever.
and get it
I-
outside.
I have
It's
no
still
idea.
cheaper.
I have no idea how much.
This one's in line.
I mean, I think you could use the same slot that's on the outside, just put a new box on the inside. As long as
The
it's.
slot's too small though.
The
That's the
slot is
problem.
too small? I thought the slot was
Oh,
fine.
no,
but
the slot is
it's-
big enough,
not
it's the
deep.
box that's
Right.
not big enough to put
And they
those
stack up
big
really
envelopes
quick.
in.
So you wouldn't have to have any rain diverter and all that
No.
stuff. You would
It's under
need,
the overhang.
take that box off and replace it with a bigger one, basically.
Yeah, the slot's already out there.
It's gotta be in by
Seems like a
election
lot.
day.
That's a lot of money for
Seems
a
like a
wooden
lot of money
box.
for
This
a
has
sheet
to
of
be
black.
by election day.
That's all it is.
Oh, no,
Who's
before
that
that, how long before you can start turning ballots in? It's for absentee ballots. How long?
But people are dropping absentee ballot requests in it now, there was 20 of them in there this morning when I got here.
When do we start accepting absentee ballots?
I won't have them until the beginning of October,
I'm just,
then I'll mail them
what I'm
out,
looking for is to drop that date that has to be
Another
stopped.
month.
Tom do, and they do the work.
a month.
When will it be done? October first. That's 2 weeks, right? That's it, right?
Yeah, said and done, and, he, from the look of this estimate, he was looking at making an outdoor box. And if he stopped by and looked at it, I mean, he could modify this plan to do that. And if maybe we get lucky and we say, this includes removal and installation, maybe ask them if that,
Yeah, yeah,
and go back with that.
yeah.
Would you have time to,
I can research even more, yeah?
all right,
You put all the questions.
So, do you want to accept it with the changes?
I'm asking you guys, but if you do, I mean, it would be expedient, we'd get it done and it'd be done tonight.
I would.
And what you read
Yeah,
on the paperwork I gave you.
Oh, sure, no,
Handed
no.
to me where outdoor boxes.
Yeah.
So
So they weren't indoor
motion
boxes.
to accept that bid with the, slight modification.
okay, I'm writing indoor box to line up.
And he doesn't
with
have to
existing
cut through the
stuff.
building.
Yeah.
To
Doesn't
line,
have to cut the building. So that's all labor in there, you know?
He just needs to
Just
make
make
the
it
box
bigger.
bigger,
That's it.
Yeah.
it's a lot of money just to make that.
But he went off of what you gave us for
Right, right.
paperwork.
So.
So he don't know, he went building an outdoor
And he should
box,
come in and
hanging
talk.
outside.
Maybe have him come in and
That's
say,
why I
this
gotta
is,
go back, then them questions weren't on that paperwork.
yeah, yeah.
I had a week to work on this.
You should come in and talk to them.
okay, what I wrote indoor box to line up with existing slot. Yeah, including removal and installation. Tom, can you write my writing? Read my writing.
I'll figure it out. And then work from home. We'll track that down.
Okay.
Something late, I will call them tonight. and
Yeah.
be
Thank
here
you,
tomorrow.
All right, so we got that. Yeah,
So we need.
Need a second?
Oh, sorry.
yeah, there we go, all in favor? Okay,
Just have to reprice it. He's just repricing it.
Just look at it.
yeah, we were gonna say if it would be all done for that, in and done and gone, you know, that would be a no-brainer. Right. All right. cross
I got
this
a couple more things.
Okay.
Shirley is under the impression that now that you're hiring a part-time person for 20 hours a week, that you're trying to phase her out.
She should have asked us.
She still wants to continue to work,
Yeah, she's your deputy, right?
yes.
She's
And
your only
she,
deputy.
like, I was out on Friday,
Yeah.
and she came in, she took care of all the, the absentees and stuff, but she just thought that once you get this new person, that she's gonna be done. So I told her I would run it by you, because
We never
she
said
said
that.
it
Never
keeps,
had any
Okay,
that
yeah.
intention.
Not at all.
she said it keeps her mind sharp, so she wants to keep dabbling.
She,
Yes, from us.
she's awesome.
Okay, and
She's a peach.
there's no way I can do all these absentee ballots by myself. I've been doing it since 8:15 this morning. Like I said, I'm gonna be here till 10 o'clock tonight to finish them up, before more come in tomorrow. These are the state ones. We only got like 6 for September 15th today. I'm hoping I can train one or two of my ballot clerks to do this. I spoke to Amber Sweat today, she's willing to come in, and I'll speak with Ricky Booton, so that I have someone to help me do this, so I am not putting in all of these hours. Because it's gonna be a daily thing, 'cause I'm expecting a couple thousand absentee ballots. And I can't,
It takes like 45 minutes to process a single absentee ballot.
where'd you
No,
get
no, it's
that?
not 20.
Because you said you had 20 come in today.
That
got
was
here-
that was just in the box. I said just in the box.
Oh, I thought you were all caught up.
Oh.
And then the.
I just showed
didn't-
Brad all the stuff that I've done today, and there's still a stack on my desk.
Okay, I was just trying to follow this and I didn't.
I heard some crazy statistic that it was some town that normally gets 60 and they were at 600 already.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, it is insane.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
crazy,
You
and
know
there
it's gonna
just
affect
are not
everybody.
enough hours in a day for me to do this by myself. Sue can't help me because she's gonna be at the counter.
Right.
And if I didn't work the counter at all today, I can't. I'll be here till midnight if I'm at the counter.
If there's this much coming in, influx of absentee ballots, is there a reason to rent any of them?
That's why we're going to rent.
If you're getting
Oh,
that
I
much
see what you're
influx of
saying.
Yeah, yeah.
absentees.
We'll still get 1,500 people probably election day. There's so many people that will not do absentee, because they don't think the ballots are gonna get counted.
But we have to run them through too, so we
This-
take, the problem is, like,
Yeah.
on election day, we have to run the ballots through, so if she collects, like, and we usually do it on lunch break, or like when there's a lull, we'll go and take a machine and put it in and step aside when someone's coming up. If we have constant traffic the whole time, we would have to secure two of the machines to be able to feed through 1,500 ballots if that was the case. That would still take us a long time hand feeding these through, because you get jams and everything else. So they come in absentee, but we still have to feed them through the machines.
I will process some of the absentees Friday, Saturday, or Sunday before. I put in to do that. But we had a lot come in election day. People walk in to turn in their absentee ballots on election day. Well, why don't you just vote when you're here?
Right,
Yeah.
if you're here. Yeah, you're already here.
Yeah. I mean, we were there until 2 in the morning. We were there until 2 in the morning, and that was a simple election.
Yeah,
And that was 6 of us till 2 in the morning.
and that was just the primary and, yeah, and there was a town ballot too. Yeah, 2 o'clock in the morning, because we have to tear down. So we'll get done to 2:30, but then this time, we'll have to tear down and take everything out of the building because there's school the next day, they're gonna be using the gym. So it's gonna, maybe, I give it a month.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to tear everything down, get it all packed in a trailer. I spoke to Norm Bilodeau today, and he said we can leave an enclosed box trailer behind the school so we can get everything out of the building and in the box trailer and lock the box trailer. I would only have to bring back the voted ballots and the machine heads to store in the vault. But all the booths and all that stuff can wait, and then somebody can go back and pick up the trailer in the morning, but it's gonna be a late night. Packing, just sleeping back in the shop.
We can take naps and shifts.
Just so you'll know.
So I can train Amber or Ricky to start coming in and help me days, so I'm not here till
Yeah.
10, 11
Yeah.
every
It's
night.
only gonna get worse.
Yeah, I was kind
Okay.
of surprised you hadn't started doing that already.
I wanted to get permission before I start spending more money on employees that you weren't counting on. All right. So you're gonna be having a public hearing early on the charter amendments for people. Should we just include the other things on the ballot as well and get the public hearing over with early so that people have all the information before they start voting
No, he laid
absentee?
out a very specific process that we're gonna follow to the law.
Oh, for him, yes.
Yes.
But the liquor on Sundays, the main PERS, I'm just wondering if we can throw those other two in the same night, get the public hearing over with, it'll be beneficial to the voters, that they'll have all the information before the thousands of absentee ballots start coming in before the public hearing on those things, so they fully understand all the information. I just thought it would be beneficial for the
So-
voters.
So what? Our public hearing for the, we were gonna have by the 22nd of this month, is that correct? So there's the 22nd.
Your next meeting is the 23rd.
Well, the 22nd will work.
You could do both.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, then why not just change the meeting to the 22nd? So that we can have the hearing and then we can have the meeting.
And the meeting on the 20,
On the 22nd.
So we do, that meeting, we do our hearing for the charter amendments, right?
Right.
We do the hearing for everything else that's on the ballot except the charter amendments, right?
Yeah.
And then we come back at a later date and do a separate public hearing for the charter amendments. Right?
No, you tend to do
No,
the charter
all the same
amendments
night.
first.
It's not really, ooh,
Yeah, because he said you gotta get the
Because of the timing,
article in the newspaper.
yeah, the timing of the
Pronto.
issue.
7 days.
First.
Yeah,
You could just have two public hearings,
in the same night.
same night. First one's gonna be
Yeah.
on the charter amendment, second on
If
the
you
other.
Just
guys-
two different agendas, that's all.
Yeah, if you wanna set it up that way, two distinct public
And then we'll
hearings,
have
I'm
our
fine.
meeting, so we'll
Yeah.
start at 6.
I just don't want anything blended or muddy or,
And people
I
can be
think
here,
it's more
who knows that having a sale, I gotta.
I do too.
Sounds like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 22nd, 6 o'clock.
22nd at 6 o'clock for the meeting. The 21st is going to be the public hearing.
We do the public hearings first.
Yep.
Then the meeting after,
The same day is what you're saying.
same day,
Oh, so you're going to go on the 22nd?
all on the 22nd.
Yeah. And you're actually
So-
doing two public hearings, Nancy?
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool.
So we're not gonna meet, have a board meeting on the 21st. We're gonna change it to the
Yes,
22nd.
we'll do everything the 22nd.
okay, I wanted to, speak to you on Article 13, that's gonna be on the ballot regarding the main PERS retirement program for the employees. And I'm just curious why you decided to exclude elected officials. The town's been paying my retirement plan, the 457K, for 11 years, and I'm
Still-
elected. Why would this one,
You can still have it.
it says it excludes elected
Not being
officials.
PERS. No, 457 is still an option.
But the main PERS is not an option for me because I'm elected.
Right.
Can I ask why that decision was made?
The thought was we're headed more to get away from elected officials and more into appointed people. And that was just the direction we went.
But what if that doesn't pass and I remain elected? I'm just curious why you decided to kind of
It will-
single me out if I
We did
stay
not.
elected.
We did not single you out. That was,
Just stop and think of something. If main retirement was available to you, are you gonna be here 25 years?
I'll
Because
probably
that's-
be here another 8.
Yeah, but
10, I
you're
live that
gonna be
long.
25 years to collect main retirement.
When I spoke to Deanna Doyle, who was going to be our account manager, I asked her specifically, do you not cover elected officials? We're not considered employees? And she said, oh no, they cover elected officials. That was your choice not to cover elected officials. She
Right.
said there are other towns that do cover their elected officials. So I was just curious why, because they still consider elected officials employees, why you
No,
decided.
elected official is an elected official, period, done.
Correct, in their eyes, they consider elected officials employees, and they will cover them. They will cover elected employees. So that's why I'm
I think
asking
I'm gonna
why.
move the question. We didn't do it. I don't have a good answer for you, Polly. I don't wanna use up the meeting on this. We've already debated it. I don't know.
You know, it's like the dental thing. I mean, I just feel like you're singling me out because I'm elected.
That was a charter issue,
Oh, that was personnel policy.
personnel policy, whatever it was. It was there.
But now we're having the same issue with elected officials being excluded from the main PERS. If I remain
Are
elected.
you gonna, do you think you would work here another 25 years?
No, I'm not gonna be here
So
25
it
years.
doesn't pertain.
Well, it does.
It does not
I
pertain.
asked Deanna Doyle what my benefit would be if I stayed here another 5 years. And we both contributed into this. And she said I'd get between $400 and $500 a month, which is more than the $457K. That doesn't do anything. So I just wanted to run it by you and find out why you decided to exclude. Because the people may not want me to be appointed, they may want to keep me elected. And I won't have the option, because, you know, it didn't pass the other 3 times it was
Yeah.
put through the
As
people.
long as I'm sitting here, it'll be voted on every year.
Oh, that's fine, but I'm just telling you, people keep voting it down, and if
Yeah.
I remain elected, I don't have the option to do the main PERS, and according to Jeanette, both aren't available, it's one or the other. So if main
No.
PERS is voted in, then there's no more.
That's right. No, that's not true.
457K.
They're not available together. But they're both available.
Okay. 'Cause
You
I
still got
asked
the
her.
457. Yeah, I thought I told you that
Okay.
earlier in discussion.
All right, well, I just wanted to know what your reasoning was for excluding elected officials. Okay, and, at the end of the last meeting, oh, one other thing. John, you had made a comment at the last meeting, about getting the 20-hour-a-week person in, which is a great idea. We can't wait to get her in here, because we're just so busy. I mean, I'm no help to Sue at all
Yeah.
when the ballots are going through. And you had made a comment about you need 2 people willing to wait on the customers. I've always been willing, but sometimes I'm not able. If you
Poor
would,
choice of words on my part. I
Okay.
apologize.
okay, because like today, I couldn't. I can't wait on the counter now. I can't do it. Okay, and then at the end of the meeting last week, I was in my office. And I was overhearing a conversation about the clerk position, how it's been voted a few times to be elected and it didn't pass. And you may have to try this a few more times to get it to pass, which I understand that that's what you want. But then I heard someone say, the rat will go down with the ship. Was that directed at me?
I never heard that statement.
Okay.
Guarantee nobody's sitting on this side of the desk made it.
Okay. And then I just
And I
want
think
to,
that's pretty much out of line to bring into an open meeting, but that's all right. A hearsay,
it wasn't
overheard.
hearsay, I heard it with my own ears, it wasn't
Okay.
somebody telling me that they heard it, I heard it.
Okay.
And I just have one more thing that I want to read. I get the feeling that the board doesn't have a very high opinion of me. I feel like
Polly,
this.
please, this is an open business
I know it
meeting.
is, that's why I'm doing this now, I want this out in the open. But I want to read a letter that I got, and it says, Dear Polly, it is with great sadness that I must inform you I will no longer be available to serve as ballot clerk for municipal, state, and federal election dates for the town of Lyman. My current health limitations demand that I must cease this activity I have grown to love and look forward to so very much. I will still be available to serve you and the
Hey,
town for
Polly, you're an elected official, and right now you're doing
Okay.
politics.
No, I'm not doing politics, I
You
want
are
to,
trying
let me
to
finish.
bolster up
No,
your situation, because you have a ballot coming up that
this
people
has
are
nothing to
voting
do with
on.
that. This is a
And this is
personal
what you're
thing.
doing right now is playing politics.
Listen, let me take this opportunity to thank you for what you do in your position as town clerk for our town. As I have worked with you over the years, both as superintendent of schools and more recently as a ballot clerk, I have come to appreciate your dedication to your job. Having known and worked with many town clerks, I recognize the incredible attention to thousands of legal details, hundreds of untold work hours, interactions with every town citizen, some easier to deal with than others, and the overall mental acuity necessary to fulfill the requirements of this vitally important municipal position. I have never met a town clerk that meets this criteria better than you do. Our town is enriched by your presence, and I thank you for your great service to Lyman. Some people do appreciate what I do, and I just wanted that on record. And that's all I have.
Okay.
And that's from Fred Bouchard.
All right. Public input. Anybody wants to say anything, they got 5 minutes. Oh, for sure.
I just had a question. I just wanted to know how it went with Dayton on the pump and the fire truck? How did that go? Does anyone know?
Yeah, Dayton, excuse me, sorry, let me read this up. Dayton has agreed to the same numbers that Lyman has agreed to, and they will be doing a special town meeting in November.
Oh, great. Good. And the other,
And they all work together to get the wording appropriately, so the selectmen will have the,
All the same.
power to choose the best financing
cool,
plan that's moving.
awesome. That's
They
good
still
to,
splitting,
Yeah,
they're still splitting, but they're on board, okay.
and I had one more thing I wanted to ask. Now that I'm on the budget committee, I kind of follow numbers. So when you were talking about KRT coming in to take the place like 2 or 3 days a week, was that kind of the thing, and the price was like $65 an hour? The question I had was, if you, because I was thinking, I don't even make that much. But anyways, if you did 16 hours for this is 2 days a week, times 65 is $1,040, times 52 weeks is $67,600. If they did 3 days a week, 24 hours, considering if they're doing 8-hour days, it's 1,560 times 52 weeks is 181,120. So where's the money going to come from? Because I think I saw in here the assessor makes $43,000.
But
So
that's 4 days, yeah.
But what you're forgetting is we're paying for the family medical benefits. That's $30,000 more.
that's what I was wondering, because I was like,
Yes.
what you see here is 43,000, so that'd be the 73,000.
Plus everything else, plus social security, plus all the way up.
So it still equals out to have someone at $65 an
And
hour.
this is just temporary.
Okay, that's what I was.
Give us a chance to decide where the best way to go.
Yeah, because like I said, if you look at, I'm like 43, I'm right at 80. I was like, whoa. All right, thank you. I appreciate the clarification. Oh, one more thing, my beef with the website, the 2019, the 2019 booklet's not on the website. It's 2018 still. Just okay, I'm done.
Town report?
The town report is
Yeah,
2000.
say it.
I tried to find it today. I tried for an hour. I got 2018 every time I searched it.
We did it well.
You did. You must have.
I think it's under the selectmen, documents, town documents or something, what it's called.
Yeah, I literally tried for an hour. I couldn't find it. Every time I clicked on it, and I was on the town website, 2018 popped up. I'll look again tonight.
Just so you know, on the same idea that we spoke last week, she has a person that'll contact us so we can talk, so we can get ready for next year's budget to change our websites so that we control it and we can get it cleaned up.
Nice.
So we're in the works.
Nice. All right, where am I?
Thank you for your time.
Mail, yes. Don't have any mail. That's nice. Complaints, Nancy.
Junk mail,
Complaints?
only on 2 roads and I gave it to Laura.
Okay, that's even better. Minutes aren't ready. Payroll warrant number 9 in the amount of $15,396.09. I look for motion. to second it? Okay, all in favor? Is it okay if I vote left-handed?
Yep.
I don't know. Sometimes I hold my nose and vote. Okay. Payables warrant number 11 in the amount of $626,137.83.
He skipped over that one.
You skipped over that one, and went to the big one. I'll get out of it, I'll make a motion.
I'll say,
Okay, all in favor? Thank you, gentlemen.
Makes it look like that's all there is.
Yeah, those big ones, I say them as fast as
That's
I
right.
can.
Now you gotta go back for a little.
Yeah, payroll warrant number 9 in the amount of $15,396.09.
Let it be.
Number 10, thank you.
for $13,215.95.
Make a motion.
Yeah, okay, second, all in favor, thank you, gentlemen. Just because I read the same one twice, I told you I'm getting too
Gotcha.
senile for this
Yeah,
job.
brother.
Okay, the only report I'd like everybody to make sure they read that I'm a little worried about is the report from KRT, and yeah, you guys have seen it. Okay, ballot clerks, we already did that. I don't know what this one is. Being notified any request for employee coverage. What is that, Nancy?
She's
She's
not
not
here.
here.
Uh-oh. Let's go to C. Discuss, approve proclamation of Constitution Week. That is this. Says. I'm not. I had to sign it. It's very pretty. Maine State Constitution Week. I think I need a motion to approve this. If you guys would like to approve Constitution Week. Bill approved. Could I have a second? All it is for 200 years, town of Lyme, state of Maine. Would you like me to read this? September 17th, 2020 marks 233rd anniversary of the draft of the Constitution, United States of America by Constitutional Convention. So this is us, we put this up, so. Are we good? Do we have a second? Are we all in favor? All right, come on, favor, guys. All right. Oh, committee members. Yes, we have to appoint committee members. And I don't have any else. Well, I've got the ballot clerks. I've got Ann Sweat, Irene Single, Susan Law, and Polly, please help me on RIQUIE.
Ricky.
Ricky Bolt. Would you guys like to approve them all at once? How about for motion? Motion from Tom. Like a second? Second, all in favor? All right. All right, we got some other stuff too. Well, that's what I'm looking for. I didn't get through all of these yet. Okay, we have Donald E. Brand Jr. would like to be on the Board of Assessment Review. We haven't had anybody there for a while. Could I have a motion? Do you guys know this gentleman? I do not.
Has anybody looked at it? Is there anybody on the board now?
Well, I've got his application. And, education experience, chief assessing officer, town of Winthrop, manager for the Pattern Mass Appraisal Company, Portland, Maine. Other committees, Board of Assessment Review, City of Lewiston. And, his reason is to administer fairness for the border review process. You guys wanna go on that? Do you wanna dig a little deeper? What do you wanna do? On Board of Assessment Review, I do not.
I just think it might be wise to pass it before them.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, I don't object to it,
no,
but
I'm
I
fine.
think if we can go through that, yeah.
I just want to do that. Okay. We have an application for the hiring committee. Carol Baker Wu of 117 Mass Road would like to be on the hiring committee. Very impressive resume. Do you want to table this one? We've got 2 hiring committees.
Yeah, two, I have one that I can get an application this week. Two?
We're looking for 4. Is that correct?
So, I'll have to ask for
All right. We've got these 2 applications already. Look like really good sound people. I don't want I don't want to just pass them by and move somebody else in. I mean, they've applied, they've taken the time.
No one can pass anything.
Okay, so basically all he needs 2 more people. If we got 2 here, is what I'm saying.
Total 4.
That's what we have left.
6
Need
on hiring
six.
committee. According to the charter, you need 6.
But if we take these 2 and say that we're gonna make a final decision next meeting.
Yeah.
We can tell everybody that's interested, get your application. And let's get it done.
I'm
Yeah,
fine with that.
that was for this meeting, 4 o'clock today. Was the deadline.
Hey, I'm fine.
I look for a motion.
I make motion.
I'll second it. I think
Okay.
we can
Huh?
try to get as many as we can.
So I'll tell the person who's interested to hurry up.
Yeah,
These are,
yeah,
these are great.
yeah, I was very impressed. I didn't want to lose them.
John, to answer your question earlier, there's no one on Board of Assessment Review.
It's just one person, right?
If someone turned in an app, but we don't have anybody else.
Right.
Gotta make it hard to have that already.
Well, you could put it on, you could talk with your Board of Assessors.
Would it be worth asking the planning board?
Yeah,
Do you know how many people are supposed to be on the committee?
no, I do not.
Usually there's only like 3.
And as I understand it, the way that works, it's, basically it's something the planning board doesn't approve. No,
And if anybody's not happy with their assessment, and they come and ask for a debasement, and it was denied, then they go to the assessing board.
all right. Okay.
This is in the zoning board.
I think it was on the board review. We don't have many people on there either, that one doesn't get used enough. So what do you guys wanna do with this one? You wanna hang on to it till next meeting?
I don't have any problem with
I
it.
know the credentials are more than that.
Now I've got other hotels.
That one was like, or 3 or 4, maybe.
Yeah. Yes, we have a gentleman here who's interested in the fair hearing officer, which is a tough one. Mr. Bashad left that. Did an amazing job. Cemetery committee, building maintenance committee.
We don't have a building and maintenance committee currently, there's nobody on it.
Right.
Really?
No, another one, it's been a couple of years.
Or forestry committee, or recycling waste committee. What do you guys wanna do with this one?
Is that the same one?
No,
There's two
no,
of
we
them?
already voted on, no. This is the third one. This gentleman filled out a different application. And he's a first time committee volunteer. I don't know the gentleman at all. Ricky Dusault, Dussault. How do you say that, Tom? Dusault, yeah,
Rick Duso,
yeah,
just, I don't know anything about his application other than from Huff Road,
could be.
new resident, former captain of the Bedford, retired captain of the Bedford Fire Department with 30+ years on the fire department, 42.
Well,
Known him all my 20 years in the fire service, and can tell you he's a big guy.
okay, do I have a motion? Yeah. And
That's awesome.
now, I get myself in trouble, all the time. I'll tell you the one that jumps out at me here, it's a tough job, it's that fair hearing officer with that gentleman's experience.
Well, I was gonna say, you might wanna ask him if he's interested in the hiring committee.
Both. He's got that on here? No, he doesn't. No, cemetery, building maintenance, but fair hearing officer, the one that jumps out at me.
So can we agree with some of these and not all of them? You say you agree for this and this, but.
I don't know. If he's interested in doing all of them, I mean, he doesn't know we don't have a current building maintenance committee.
Right.
The cemetery committee, what we do with them when they were active, we'd have them vet them before we approved it. But we certainly can approve a fair hearing officer. The only thing I'm wondering, that's a tough job. And I know the man seems incredibly well qualified.
If you wanna know.
I'd like to meet him.
What it is.
I'd like to meet him. All right, yeah, that would be, cause
I
that's,
would also ask him if he's interested in the hiring.
yeah, cause it's a tough job.
And don't stand in the
All right, I got all kinds of stuff for you guys to sign.
baseball.
KIT, asked if they could use the former assessor's computer in that paperwork they sent us. They said things were slow getting done, they only had one point, it would speed them up quite a bit if they could work out of this office too.
We've got a separate computer for that, just a matter of talking around.
Yes, I've already.
He'll set it up.
I already told them to contact Ralph.
Yeah,
Ralph
there's
will-
one
So
in
this
the-
is all approved, so,
There's already one in the computer room,
all right,
plus I believe there's one in Jeanette's office, and that would be the third one.
all right. where they made a specific request, could we make a specific vote? Say, yes, you can.
Oh, I have no problem.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. And I think that's all I got.
Michelle, I just went, well, because that was driving me crazy, because I knew I put the town report on there. It is on
It is
there.
on there? I did
It's
look
under
through.
selectmen, Board of Selectmen, town meeting documents, and just remember, it's year ending 6/30/19.
Right, the one I pulled up was 2018, so that's what, when you search the line and page, it's the
17,
first
18, and
one.
19 are there.
Yeah, I couldn't find them. We'll peek again.
We're using a phone or a laptop,
Laptop.
because a phone makes a huge difference, boy. Our website is not friendly for a phone
No.
at all.
No, I was on my desktop.
No. We're working.
Baby steps.
Make it a plan.
Is it a 5-year one?
3 to 5, 1 to 2.
John, I have something.
Sure.
With any amount of luck, they're gonna start shimming Walker Road tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
They should have that shimmed within a couple of days, and they're gonna turn right around and pave it.
Nice job over here, huh? Very nice job.
Then they're gonna go to Davis Road. I got that all ready for them.
Good.
Shoulders are all done, trees are all cut.
We're doing any shoulder work over here
Where
on, Hufford.
they're supposed to do a 2-foot shoulder.
Okay,
There's a lot of winter sand that's still gonna go, but they're supposed to put it on a 2-foot shoulder.
all right, I just wanna make sure that
Yeah.
was in the bid. I didn't-
Yeah, it is.
Polly, when I was in here last, Sue had mentioned something about trying to talk about credit cards. Are we ready to talk about that, or do you need more information?
Oh, I mentioned that to you about
Oh, was it?
changing the
Oh, I
credit
thought it
card
was,
company.
I'm sorry.
When somebody comes in here with the current credit card, Nancy might know the name of it, I don't even know the name of the company that we're using now, but when you do a transaction, like if somebody wanted to come in and license their dog for $6, there's a $3 fee
For the credit card.
to use your card
Right.
for the first $114. But the company, I gave all the information to Jeanette several months ago. The company that Biddeford used, it was $1 for the first certain amount, which would be better, you know.
For $6.
That's what we have for my company.
Yeah, this other company is a little bit cheaper for people, because we have people come in often that wanna register a car or something, and then when they find out what the
Yeah,
credit card fee is, they're like, oh, well, you know, set it aside, we're gonna go home, get a check and come back. So I just thought maybe if we change companies,
That one also escalates pretty hard if they wanted to pay the taxes with it too, correct?
it's
Yeah, on a big
$3
amount,
for the
boy.
first 114, and then 2.65%.
Right, it's nice.
So it
Crazy.
is.
It's a big amount.
It
Yeah.
is nuts, but a lot of people do small transactions, and I can't see people coming in to license a dog for $6 or $11 and then have to pay $3 on top of that,
Just for
because they
a
wanna
debit
throw it on their card.
Yeah, Jeanette's got that information, she's got the information on a couple other ones. And, it's in the works.
Elevon is a good one, if you hasn't tried them. Elevon,
Elevon,
it's probably the best rate that we ever got. We've
Elevon.
gone through a few.
Can you spell that for me?
ELAVON, Elevon.
Okay. You guys
Sue
got
did
any-
mention something to you, something separate about people who were doing things online. I don't know what she spoke to you about it, but it was.
I remember everything about the credit cards, I was like, that's a money saver, I'll keep that.
Well,
in my-
hers was something about credit cards too, but I was busy and didn't hear everything, but she did approach you
I'll
something
come in
about
and
credit
touch
cards when people do something online. What I'm talking about is when people come to the counter, that credit card company, but she wanted to make something else online,
I do remember
for
that
people
now.
to use a card online.
I'll pop that kid.
I don't have anything else.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.